everybody. So, talking about getting out of my comfort zone is something familiar to me because I am always trying to escape from this area. And there was a time in my life where my comfort zone was not that comfortable. And to talk about this topic with you, I need to share some facts about my personal life, and I hope you might find it helpful. So I am a Brazilian, and I grew up in poverty. I know there are some Brazilians here today, and as Brazilians, we know that it's not a surprise because 50% of the population lives in the poverty line or below. And when you are raised on this condition, you can accept it very easy because mostly your entire family and social network will be in the same situation. Alternatively, you can decide to change and open a new cycle for your life. But the point is, when you take this decision and decide to change your life, nothing will be easy because society do not pay proper attention to the poor side of the population. I know it's not only in Brazil, it's everywhere. When I decided to change my life was the first time that I got out of my comfort zone. I knew I took the right decision, but I also knew there was a journey to change the situation I was born in. But anyway, it was better living out of my comfort zone than stay or accept that lifestyle that clearly my family or I didn't deserve. I don't know if you guys ever had the feeling of being behind everybody. I hope not, but I had this feeling for a while. For example, regarding education, I studied in public schools. So it means that I studied in the worst schools in Brazil because the public education system there is one of the worst in the world. My parents couldn't afford a private school to me, so I accepted what I had. But I also found a way to compensate that situation, either looking for free training or free lectures to go, or spending more time in the library studying. And it worked. In the end, that mindset that I was behind of everybody is what put me on the average. When I was 16, I started working. My first job was in a travel agency. I started on call center, and very soon I moved to events department. The first thing I did with my first salary was join an English school. So my routine was from 7 to 11, I went to school, 11:30 to 12:30, 3 times a week I had English classes, and from 3 to 10 I went to work. I arrived at home around midnight, and I woke up at 5:30. For sure, one thing that I learned at that time is that I am not a morning person at all, and I hate waking up early till nowadays. So please don't send me meeting invitations before 9 a.m. I appreciate that. But to me, spending money for education, it was something very, very natural. It was never a problem for me. When I got into the college, during the first year, my salary was to pay the college's tuition. Luckily, in Brazil, we don't have that pressure to leave our parents' home. So I stayed with my parents till 26, and it helped a lot. And as I didn't have a good basic education, of course, I didn't graduate in an Ivy college. So my earlier career start gave me an edge. After that travel agency, I worked in IT companies connected with Sun Microsystems, IBM, and Cisco systems. I learned a lot in those companies. We worked in providing service for the financial industry. I was responsible for events, and I used it to organize events for CEOs and CIOs of banks, insurance companies, and other financial institutions. It was a reality completely different of mine. Imagine, my situation was, I left to work or any event, I went to the bus stop, arrived at home right on time to prepare my rice and beans for the next day. For those people, CEOs and CIOs, I organized the events where I had to provide to them the best food, the best wine, security guards, helicopters. So besides the technical skills of my occupation, I had to learn everything about gastronomy, wine, luxury marketing, etiquette. I really learned a lot, and that experience made me the professional that I am today. Just a point back into education, as I mentioned, my college was not above the average. So I set up a target that my master should be. I decided to study at São Paulo University, one of the most important universities in Brazil. It was my target, required a lot of preparation, many nights awake studying, but I made it. My master in social science at São Paulo University. And I started working at Bosch in the same year I started my master. So I can tell you that it was a very interesting year, working a lot and studying a lot. One of the biggest lessons throughout my journey is that preparation comes first. It doesn't matter what I wanted, I had to dedicate time preparing myself to achieve my target. So to me, preparation is straight connected with changes, because I never learned or improved myself in my comfort zone. So to change, I need to get out of my comfort zone, prepare, and achieve my targets. But I also never allow myself to complain. Instead, I decided to take that energy to reach out to some people who are ahead of me. But I never looked at those people as my competitors, because they were not. I knew that whatever I wanted, I was able to get if I was prepared. So those people, they inspired me, and they were my reference. And I am very grateful for all of them, even the people I don't know, because I strongly believe that it's important to stay around inspiring people. This is my main criteria to build my social network. I do not look at important people. I want to be closer with inspiring people. So, everything was doing good in my life. I was not poor anymore. I was a well-educated professional, a respected professional, taking advantage of a lot of opportunities that Bosch put in front of me. And then I received the invitation to move to the US. An opportunity that put me behind again. Imagine, I was moving to a new division, from automotive aftermarket to thermotechnology. A new country, and in front of the language barrier. And please believe me, this barrier is way bigger than I've ever imagined. So I went back to my books to learn my language, to improve my language skills, understand the HVAC industry and the cultural difference between Brazil and the US. And once here in the US, I realized that artificial intelligence and IoT talk out loud. So every time someone came to me to talk about AI or IoT, meetings or presentations that I received, and I was quiet because I was not able to develop a conversation about these topics. And then I decided that it was time to go back to school again. And I found a program at MIT about artificial intelligence and its impact on business decisions. I can tell you that never in my wildest dreams I imagined myself studying at MIT. And it's clear to me that it was a short program, of course, 3 months studying there. But can you imagine how someone who grew up in this condition feels with this certificate? This is simply amazing. I love this certificate, trust me. It's so simple, but I love it. And as I mentioned, preparation comes first. After this certification, I pitched the business case I've developed at MIT to G6. I was there last week doing it, in Germany, last week doing it, by the way. And there is a chance of having my project implemented at Bosch. And due to this program, I am here sharing my journey with you guys. So my experience has shown me that getting out of the comfort zone and stay focused on your self-improvement is the best way to manage my personal and my professional life. Every time I was prepared, opportunities showed up. And to be honest with you, I feel way more comfortable when I am out of my comfort zone. I love to be the boss of my life. I decide what I want for me. I take these decisions. And this is a kind of empowerment that really makes the difference. Because today, nothing or nobody can stop me. And I am here talking to you, and when I think about my future, I am extremely confident that I will have whatever I want, and I will keep preparing myself to receive everything I deserve. Doesn't matter how many barriers will need to be broken. And from my heart, I wish the same to you, that you guys understand how important is look outside of your comfort zone, and how interesting is prepare yourself for all the opportunities that life will put in front of you. Thank you so much.